A new Boruto episode came out today, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually finding a really hard time trying to articulate certain words and ways to be able to explain what happened in this episode and what I thought was really good about it, because the episode obviously does it on its own, but just the things that happened within it were just, they weren't confusing. It's just hard for me to really explain why I found certain aspects of the episode to be as enjoyable as they were. Like, because the first half spends most of the time around Boro and what he's been doing with like this cult and basically manipulating their minds to make them think that the infinite Tsukuyomi and allowing their minds to be able to be captured, right, and having them give themselves to Boros and thus forth the Kara organization is a good thing. To the point where in the episode, even I think it was around like towards the halfway point, one of the girls, one of the followers of Boro, her brother ends up showing up and he attacks Boro, and basically the whole time he's just trying to save his sister because he knows that Boro is lying about the infinite Tsukuyomi and the fact that it's a very terrifying jutsu and that you shouldn't be get caught up in this. And obviously people who know, you know, the reality of the infinite Tsukuyomi already know what it's about, but because Boro is putting all of these delusions and lies inside of their head, they don't see anything else wrong with it. They just know what they know because so much time has passed since the infinite Tsukuyomi was casted such a long time ago. No one really knows how it works. I mean, even like Naruto and Sasuke barely know how it works, so it stands to reason that if they've done a lot of research on the Otsutsuki more than what the main cast has done, of course they're going to understand it a little bit more, but they're obviously having an agenda playing in some factors, so they're going to hide a lot of details about how it actually works. So it's very interesting in that regard, and you know, I think seeing more of this, seeing more of the delusions that they're putting into these people's minds is definitely interesting to see, but it's very slow paced and not a lot of stuff really happens. And Boro is he's only so much interesting to watch on screen when he's talking, you know, because he's basically just kind of saying the same shit over and over again. But then we have Sasuke in the episode, and he goes into that dimension where they found the coordinates with the information that they got that held Kawaki back on the airship. And speaking of which, Boro actually goes back to the airship, and he ends up finding something regarding around Kashin Koji, so something is probably going to happen regarding around that. But basically, Sasuke goes to where the coordinates were with the information that they got. He goes there, and there's this platform, and for some reason they're able to, or he's able to see previous Otsutsuki members, like Kinshiki, Momoshiki, even Kaguya. And then there's also a mysterious, like, fourth one that ends up showing up with a pair with Kaguya, because it was ended up being in pairs. That's what Sasuke pointed out in the episode. And, of course, this is most likely Ishiki, because I already kind of have a couple ideas as to why it's Ishiki, but they don't ever really show his face, and they're still keeping it a mystery. And Jigen ends up showing up later on, and it turns out there's actually a tailed beast right underneath the platform that Sasuke was standing on. So something's gonna happen regarding around the tailed beast. I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen. But Jigen basically ends up absorbing the chakra from the 10 tails, and he says that he's gonna go end up seeing what the other two vessels are doing, which we already know that is Kawaki and Boruto. So, and of course by the previews that we see this week for this week's episode at the end, Jigen ends up showing up in Leaf Village, and he's going after Kawaki and possibly Boruto as well. And of course Naruto is going to be there, so he's going to have a little bit of a scuffle with Jigen, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I think what's going to end up happening is Kashin Koji's going to step in and do something, but I don't know in what regard, and I don't think they're going to end up fighting in the village. I know that in the previews Naruto ends up getting into his QB chakra mode, but I don't think there's going to be any fighting. I don't think they're going to fight inside of the village because it's not around that time yet for them to do that. I think they're going to go somewhere outside of the village, or they are going to fight, but they're not. I don't think they're going to fight yet. I think Jigen's just going to end up showing up, and he's going to, you know, fuck around with Kawaki and mess with his mind and then get the fuck out of there. And then obviously Kashin Koji's going to end up doing something. I'm not really sure what, but he's going to do something. I don't know. Just watching the episode itself is pretty self-explanatory as to what aspects were really enjoyable. That's all I can really recommend that you do. Watch the episode yourself and see what there is and what you like about it. But it's mostly just a lot of talking and sitting down, and because the first half of the episode is centered around Boro and him talking about the infinite Tsukuyomi, you're only so much interested into what he's talking about because you already know the concept of what the infinite Tsukuyomi is all about. So hearing more about it from someone who's clearly lying, you can only hear so much and be like, I'm kind of like drowning out of it, but I'm still watching, obviously. But it's more world building and it's more explanation as to what the Otsutsuki were even doing and what potentially the Kara's plan even is to begin with, which we only know so much, but obviously those who read the manga already have an idea, or I already know. But that's besides the point. That's all I really have to say about the episode. There are aspects about it that I really liked, and I just like more world building and more explanations and more building up this mystery as to what the hell is even going on. But obviously there was only so much that I can be interested in without just kind of tuning out a little bit. But that's the point. I still thought it was fine, but that's all I really have to say about it. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you're new, subscribe for more videos just like this. I'll see you guys next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.